Well, we're here today at NRF in New York City so I'm Fabian Ekstrom-French from Esper, and I'm here with my partners at Stratix Corp. We've got Gina and Tony. I'll let you introduce yourselves.
Great, thanks Fabian. I'm Gina Daniel Lee. I'm Vice President of Strategic Alliances and Partnerships at Stratix. I manage our overall partner strategy across the organization, whether it's hardware, software, or services.
And I'm Tony Glinski, so I'm the Director of Apple Business at Stratix, and I work very closely with Esper as well on a lot of projects.
Fantastic, cool. So tell us a little bit, like, what's your highlight of the show so far? Like, what are your key takeaways from NRF?
It's been a great show.
Yeah.
A lot of people, a lot of traffic, a lot of great conversations. You know, for us, coming here at the beginning of the year is a time for us to kind of set our strategy and our direction with our partners and really kick off the year strongly. I think one of the things that was a pervasive theme throughout the show this year is definitely AI, right? How are you going to monetize it? How are you going to use it? How are you going to use it to differentiate your business? That definitely was a theme. I think there is more willingness to spend this year. That's what we've gotten from a lot of the customers that we've talked to, and the partners are feeling the same thing, that there's not as much uncertainty about the economy and what's happening in the world, and people are ready to spend and innovate with technology is what I took away. What about you, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot. So we have a lot of partners here that we work with, and I mean, just a long kind of list of notes. Like, this is the kickoff of the year for us. So a lot of this is about certainly taking it in at the show, but then it's the follow-up afterwards and really learning more about new partners, what they're doing, other events, things like that. So yeah, a lot of work after the event, after you kind of come down off of the high of NRF.
So guys, thinking about AI, because we can't walk 5 feet without hitting it or seeing it. If it was a drinking game, we'd all be trash. Right? As a managed services organization, how is that being leveraged by your business to support these businesses out there?
Yeah, you know, that's a really interesting question, and one that we've been thinking through as an organization over the last year. You know, certainly we use AI to optimize our internal processes and our everyday work life, right, to be more efficient and things like that. But as a managed services company, when we think about how do we monetize that, there's a couple of different ways that I think we could do that. One would be through our help desk. As big corporate organizations are starting to roll out AI, you know, laptops that have AI capability, they may not know exactly how to do that, and their internal organizations may not be able to answer questions. Could we be the help desk for those folks? Could we also sell them those laptops that have that AI capability, right? And stage and provision those on their behalf. And so those are a couple of the ways that, you know, we've been thinking about how we could monetize it in our managed services organization.
How's that play into security? How's that play into security when you're talking about the management of your clients' environments, etc.? AI is also concerned about what happens to all that data that's going on. Is that something you guys touch?
We do a little bit. Mainly our security practices around our UEM practice. We've got, you know, a team of about 15 people who are well versed across the UEM ecosystem, and security is a big piece of that. There's a whole bigger piece of security that we're really in our infancy in, though. That is something that, you know, is forward thinking for us in terms of next gen products and services.
Yeah, I'd just add, like, we're very focused on use cases, how our customers are using devices, but internally, like, we have a very large warehouse with all of our customers' products that we have to manage ourselves. So, you know, we've been around for 40 plus years, and a lot of technologies that we've used, you know, we've continually had to work with our partners, understand what else is out there to make sure that we, you know, we're not resting on our laurels of what worked in the past. So certainly AI and a lot of things we can do with our inventory, that data and that privacy is really paramount to the things that we're doing internally and certainly with our partners.
Makes sense. Fabian, I mean, when I first heard you guys talking, and before I actually dipped into what Stratix does, I was like, you guys are kind of the same, but you're not, right? Managed services. This is managed devices. Right?
Yeah. So I think
let's talk about those concentric circles.
Yeah, I would say, like, where I really see the synergies for us is, like, we are like the software that sort of the glue that sticks the hardware and the other layers of software together. And these guys are the, I don't know, like the artisans that like leverage all of the components. The hardware is one tool, Esper, we're like that glue that they're using, and then like layering on the other sort of ingredients or components on top. And I think the reason we play really well together, I think, is we've got, first of all, really great relationships, but also I think our technical teams, they work really well together, understanding each other and accommodating each other. So where there are custom requests we have some really large customers or clients of theirs and ours that we share that are sort of across different industries nationwide, with many, many locations, and the ability for our teams to sort of work together and scale those together, I think is probably where those synergies lie.
So if I'm in an engagement with both Stratix and with Esper, what does that interplay look like? Who am I talking to? Is it both?
Yeah, it is both. That's one of the really great things about our partnership, and it's fairly young, only about a year into partnering together. But I think what's been really really relevant and really front and center is that we have been very communicative. We've been very creative together on how we go to market. We've been put up against some pretty challenging situations, right? And had to roll up our sleeves and get creative on how we're going to go to market. And that's, the customers see that, right? The customers see that collaboration and that true synergistic partnership. And I think that makes them feel confident in working with us together.
People like a path.
Yes.
People want to know they're in good hands, and you guys have done this before, and you play well together.
Yeah, our customers feel it too. Like, you can't overstate like the importance of the collaboration, because they're experts in Esper. We're experts in what we do with managed services side, right? So we've both been at it for a while now, but that collaboration is like, cannot overstate how important that is to make sure we do that. Because we could say, hey, we've done this before, and oh gosh, we think this is a perfect fit. And a customer will say, yeah, but can you change it? Can we there's always going to be customization in everything that we do. And that's where the collaboration. So, when we're talking with the customer, whether us or Esper, and be in alignment, we have a message that is clear on both ends, and certainly the customer can feel that as well.
Yeah, and I think our customer first approach that we both take is really key. I think we've got a very aligned philosophy of like, let's make sure that we first of all understand our customers' needs, and we are aligned on like ensuring that they get the ultimate outcome that they want, and we work together hand in hand so that the customer doesn't have to come to us and say, oh, I want this, oh, I want that. We actually do it. We work together. And the Stratix team will run the services, and they'll work with our team to make sure that the product is as the customer wants, so that they're not having to back and forth and communicate to their team and our team. It's like, yes, there are lines of communication between both teams, but it's very much streamlined. And I think that's where the alignment and collaboration comes in.
So thinking about Stratix, for those that don't know you, right, and managed service is a big category. There's a lot of things that happen inside that. How far down the rabbit hole do you go? Is it networking, infrastructure, deployment, staging, device management? Like, what are all the areas you cover in a brief amount? Like, just to give you a full idea, a reasonable idea.
Yeah, we are maniacally focused on mobility. So, and we don't stray too far outside of that in the infrastructure or data center world. It's really pure mobility. In layman's terms, some folks would call us a VAR instead of a managed services company. We say managed services company because to us, VAR means you can acquire hardware, you can stage, kit, activate, and maybe have a spare pool, right? Where we've really differentiated and where we've invested heavily, and this is where Esper comes into the play, is in the day two. What happens after those devices are in the field? How are you going to manage them? Who are you going to call if you have a question or need something troubleshooted? How are you going to get devices repaired, right? And so all of those things after the fact, after the initial deployment, are where we really excel, and where our UEM services with Esper fall into that category of managed services.
And who's typically your customer? Describe, if I could self-identify, I should be a Stratix customer. What do I look and sound like?
Yeah, so quite a few industries of focus. Certainly transportation, the airlines. I do a lot of work with the Apple team. That's my focus. In the restaurant space, certainly retail. Gina, help me out. We've got quite a few. Field services is broad, but we get into healthcare and other
education. Pretty much any industry, with the exception of government and public sector, we have a significant footprint in, because for us, it's about the use case. It's not about the particular industry. Yes, there's some nuances, but use cases are very similar. When you get on a plane and you buy a beer and the flight attendant swipes your credit card, that use case is a mobile point of sale. When you go to a Chick-fil-A and go through the drive-through and they take your credit card, that use case is mobile point of sale.
There's a lot of value too, because sometimes you're in your silo of your industry and then you realize, like, adjacent to that in another industry, there's so much going on that can even really improve your operations, whatever it may be, and we can pull that in because we have expertise across industry.
Yeah, well, it's funny. It's kind of known that retail leads the pack when it comes to innovation technology, and then it starts to trickle to hospitality. And
absolutely.
That's right.
And I mean, I think we're finding the same thing. Like for us, sort of quick service restaurant is one example within, I guess, the broader retail that we find, like, we have many customers in that space, and then it sort of slowly grew out to like broader retail, and then other like field services like healthcare. So almost exactly what Stratix does and says is sort of the space that we play in. Like, we are truly horizontal and like can sort of service all of the industries, but there are some specific earlier adopters, I would say.
A little bit of cross-pollinating then.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely love it. Well, when you guys came to the show, what were you looking forward to outside of any meeting with your partners and shaking hands? And these are usually reunions for those who've been doing it for a while, right? What were you excited to see, talk about, learn about?
Well, because it's the beginning of the year, like, we have a great plan, but there's so many events where not only our partners going to be, but where our customers going to be. Where do we need to continue that dialogue? Certainly, we'd love to have them in Atlanta and see our headquarters, but where can we be to meet them where they are? So, frankly, like, there's other events and things that we're learning. There's so many of them, but making sure we have that thread with our customers where they're focusing on innovation and their projects. Like, we want to be there with them. So, I've learned of a few here too, and we're at NRF every year, so there's always some good ones that pop up that make sense to show up at.
Doesn't really replace a warm handshake either, right?
That's right. And for me, it was about the innovation, right? I love coming here every year, going and meeting with our partners and seeing what's new, right? What's new in the portfolio.
And it's, so much.
So have you looked at the pit stop experience that's behind you? Or you guys spend any time there?
Very little.
Okay, so this is something you definitely have to see, especially as a managed service provider, especially as a partner of Esper. This is a knitted system of 9 different technologies. Together.
It's pretty fun. There's some cool stuff going on here. This one here, it's like a drive-through experience on a go-kart. You go through. There's like an AI interface where you place your order. It chats back with you. It confirms your order. You drive around. Your order is delivered to you through a window, kind of like a drive-through experience.
Yeah.
We've also got like these little robots that'll, like, if you order, they can like come and deliver them to you at your booth. Like, it's a very fun, interactive, real-life use cases that our restaurant customers are using in the field. So very fun.
Love it. We'll have to check it out.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. Well, we'll definitely get you riding on that. So the questions I have, I mean, it's Stratix being a managed service provider, you have to be looking to the future, right? What's your big prediction for 26 and how it's going to affect both restaurants and retail?
I think they're going to continue to innovate and continue to look at how to differentiate themselves from their competitors. And I think, more and more as they do that, they realize that they can't do all of that work internally, right? You can't have somebody managing your device ecosystem on a part-time basis, right? And so companies like Stratix become more and more relevant as retailers and quick serve restaurants start to purchase new technology and innovate and invest. They need somebody to manage that for them. So I foresee this year that we're going to see a big uptick in the need for managed services in retail and in other industries as well. And again, I already mentioned that I think from an economic perspective, folks are letting the purse strings a little loosen a
Well,
little
that's exciting,
bit.
right?
Right,
Commerce
exactly.
resumes, if not gets better.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, Gina said it very well, but like uptime that's the differentiator. Like the programs that we build for customers, it's paramount that it works for them. So, it's a puzzle, right? So they might need to hire more people or less people as a result of the work that they're doing with mobile products. So it's just a very competitive space to do it really well and to make sure that there's no gaps and downtime that's really affecting their business. So we work hard to find those tweaks, sometimes big tweaks, sometimes little tweaks to really help them improve.
Yeah, I mean this is why we direct our customers to these are experts. You want experts that are going to streamline things, make things efficient. Like efficiency is key, particularly in in industries like quick service restaurant, and really all business. Like you want to be efficient, you want to be fast, you want to get stuff done and do it right. And this is why you work with smart people like the guys over at Stratix.
Best of the best.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Well, hey, it looks like we're coming up on time here. I know, Fabian, you have an appointment that's coming up here in a minute. I want to make sure we take care of them too. But for the message, right? For people who are looking on, listening, or watching this right now, what's the message from Stratix to them? What would you say to them? Say, hey, we're toying with the idea, but we're not sure yet. Why should they give you a call?
Because we're the experts, because we've been doing this for so long, because we understand the complexities of a large-scale mobile deployment, and we have the right partners in our ecosystem to bring to them and collaborate together to help manage their devices, to help support their devices, to get creative with them on what's next. And I think that should be exciting for end users to have someone who understands and has such deep knowledge and is willing to help them innovate and differentiate in their markets.
No, perfectly said.
That's perfect.
43 years.
43 years.
Yeah.
I mean that's it there. Like 43 years.
Right
we're like this is the experience. This is what we need is like experience and expertise.
Cool. Fabian, you want to take us out?
No.
So this has been the Chat GTM podcast with Fabian and Stratix. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you on the next one.